And to close today's residence gardening session, I would like to ask you the question, and maybe someone can start and nominate someone else. Imagine that someone did not have the chance to join today's workshop and doesn't have time to listen to the entire recording. What would you like them to take away from today's session?
This is great. This just reinforces for me that the power of visuals and the power of metaphors, because we had a metaphor around gardens and journeys and growing, and it was rich enough to stick with. So the interesting challenge I have is in my job, which is financial services, so old and stuffy and conventional, is to shake up that whole organization who just don't know what this could be, how good this could be, and yet are desperate for it. I'm not knocking them. I think there's a huge untapped demand in the organization for something that feels kind of different. And so using a metaphor like this today just reminds me of the power. And if you get the visuals right, it reminds me that it just enriches the whole experience for everyone that's involved in meetings or workshops.
Would you like to nominate someone else?
Oh, sorry, Marilyn.
Sure. So being an architect and having never built anything in the real world, but I always used to joke that I built websites, and so I was an architect, but in the virtual world. It was really beautiful to be able to see how you can create spaces and signal things, and this is your way in, and this is what you need to understand about the space, and also use the affordance of physical objects like a door closing or opening to signal something behind it or something in front of it, and also this entire ecosystem metaphor of things will go up in the sky and then it'll rain and it'll seed things. And I think that what's beautiful is how can we recreate virtual spaces where we understand the metaphors kind of very naturally, but they're constantly delighting us. And I feel like there's so many Easter eggs in this space that we have yet to discover. And it's like a treasure hunt at this point. And so I just want to be in the space. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it becomes like a room that I can hang out with. And I think that that's really incredible.
Makes me so happy to hear. Thank you.
Cool. So I will nominate Jenny.
Thank you. I think for anybody that didn't make it today, it's a shame. But I think looking at the board, it just shows how easy it is to actually collaborate with somebody and not be face to face. You can be reading sort of those seeds and be adding sort of information and at the same time as somebody else and being on the same lines and things. So yeah, I think it's just a great way to collaborate with people. And I find it quite exciting to know that the person that you may be sort of working next to virtually could be the other side of the world. So I think that's cool. Yeah. Okay. Peggy.
Okay, so I think I like the power of the visualize, because you can imagine if you put lost in written words, how it would be complicated, and it's really difficult to navigate and understand the whole process and the whole community. And in the visualize, and you can easily just click and it bring you to the space. Yeah, so I think it's just easier to explain and also help people to get to know all the rules and how to play around in the space. And Myriam.
If someone missed the session, I think you have to block half an hour in your calendar right now when you hear that, and just take the time to go on neverdonebefore.org/residence and follow the instructions and play with it. And I think what I realized and experienced today is just how playful it is and how easy it is to interact with it once you allow yourself and you just take the time to emerge in the space. Shayne.
I would say open up the NDB residence, click on the start button and follow the signs to plant your flower, to play, and to create what you want within the garden that is yours, but ours, our garden. You can't break anything, or at least anything that you can break, we can unbreak. So it's really an opportunity to play. Come on down to the garden and play.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for taking the time, for joining the gardening session and for planting the first seed. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you one of the next sessions. Oh, on Thursday, I'm hosting my very first craft workshop. We're gonna build these kind of little friends. So if you have nothing to do on Thursday, join us for getting the sleeves up and enjoying some fun with our hands.
What time is that CET?
It is